Governor Corzine was back on the road today, speaking in Newark about state's finances and his proposed budget. Corzine addressed the State Chamber of Commerce, which signaled its support for his plan. Zachary Fink has the story.
By today, this audience had probably heard the stark numbers. Corzine has proposed reductions in spending of $2.7 billion. That includes the elimination of 2 departments and a commission and reducing the state workforce by 3,000 jobs.
We, as a state, have been living beyond our means for far too long. I could actually look well back into the 80s.
If there is an audience that would be sympathetic to the austere cuts that may be needed to reduce $32 billion in debt and fulfill commitments on billions more in state pension and health care costs, it's probably the Chamber of Commerce.
Well, the business community has been calling for fiscal restraint for the longest time. We appreciate the governor stepping up and actually putting that restraint in process. Now the question is, what is the legislature going to do about that?
The governor has acknowledged that the public didn't welcome his toll road proposal, which means the revenue must come from other sources. Corzine also expressed an understanding for those who may choose to leave the state and live in neighboring Pennsylvania.
Yes, you can go to Pennsylvania, and by the way, if you live in the western half of the state and you work from home, probably makes sense from a marginal tax rate basis. Might not for educating your kids.
According to the governor, it will take more than just a year to fix the state's fiscal crisis. The Chamber of Commerce proposes imposing a cap on future spending.
Well, the state chamber asked the governor to look at that and has asked the legislature to look at a constitutional amendment to control spending. But whether it's legislatively done or done by a constitutional amendment, we do support some type of activity that controls spending so that we don't find ourselves in this problem again.
If the legislature puts one together, I won't campaign against it as long as it has triggers that are sensible and adequate for the kind of environment that we're in now. I'd prefer to do it in statute.
Another factor in all of this is the national economy. Many economists agree that a slowdown is underway, if not an outright recession. In fact, Corzine noted today that activity at the port is down about 12 to 15%, and that could pose additional long-term problems for the state's finances. Zachary Fink, NJN News, Newark.